Good morning, and good morning. I know I'm a little late. I'm not in my space. I'm hanging out with my daughter who's recovering from major surgery. So I am where I am. But good morning, good morning. So happy that you all are making it in this morning to see me. I appreciate it very much. I'm just having a way with this word this morning. It dawned on me that many of the people that I have come in contact with over my life, they are sages. And a sage is basically, it says by definition, is considered a mentor in spiritual and philosophical topics who are renowned for profound wisdom. I've met some. Have you? Have you met some people that really every word you hold on to because you know it has importance, not only in the life that they've lived, but the life that they're trying to tell you or assist you in living, to live better, to live what I would call, maybe cleaner, maybe more kind, maybe more loving, maybe more caring, all of those things. So I'm happy to talk about it. It says wisdom is accumulated knowledge of of erudition and enlightenment. It says the sage is thought to have wisdom that comes with an age and experience, or it is the wisdom keeper in some societies. You can't get away with that. Have you met a sage? I know some sages. I do. And I'm real proud of the fact that I know a sage here and there. Some of the good morning, Adelia. How are you, my friend? I'm back. It's going to be a short word today because I'm on nurse duty. And nurse duty says, I have to report. So if she needs anything, I'm there for it. And we're working through this. We are, and I appreciate all of the shout outs and the calls and the texts and whatever it is, just to say, hey, look, I'm so happy that she's doing better and you're getting some rest in the process of working. But it's a different kind of work. It's a different kind of work when you work for somebody that you love. You don't mind the work. It is never considered work. It's considered the care, the love, the kindness I'm going to be there for. So, anyway, let's break this word down this morning. And let me ask you, have you been stuck every once in a while just listening to your own self and never having somebody else to listen to, as in somebody that is a mentor, a sage, SAGE? Real simple word, but has, exclusive, high level, high action meaning. When I think of a sage, I'm thinking of a person who doesn't mind sitting and telling me something I didn't know or telling me something that I need to know. Because sometimes people give you information, they don't even know if you're going to use it. But when you do and you find out that there's use for it, there's joy in the word that you received. So anyway, it says, when we look, it says, as in wise, when you look at Merriam-Webster's discussion of the word sage, it says having or showing deep understanding and intelligent application of knowledge. Good morning, Big Mo. How are you, my friend? I owe a few calls back, so tell Wendy I do know that she called me, but it seemed like I just always been busy. When I think about it, it's late at night. But I hear y'all and I appreciate you. It says, so when we look at this whole thing of sage, we look at how clever are we, or how clever are the people that have interacted with us. How wise, it says, how brilliant, how sagacious, how perceptive, how experienced, how brilliant. It says how sagacious, I love that word, how discerning, how smart, how keen, how bright, how reflective, how learned, how pundit, how savant, how scholarly. Okay, I've met some people like that in my life, and every time I meet one, I am overjoyed, overexcited that somebody would take the time to talk with me. Like I talk to everybody. Like I've lived these number of years in this life, and the things that I know I should pass on, I try to. Not everybody, in terms of things that you pass on, will get there, but I do my best. I do my best. So when we break the word down this morning, and I ask you again, are you stuck occasionally looking for somebody to listen to you? Who could be your mentor? Okay. So anyway, the first word I have is sagacious. Sagacious. It says as in wise. Sagacious means wise. Having or showing deep understanding and intelligent application of knowledge. Basically, that's many of us. We've been afforded an opportunity every once in a while to not only learn something, but then show others that we learned it and then give it to others as something that can be shared for their understanding as learning goes forward. It says sagacious is when someone is wise, prudent. I like that word too. Insightful, perceptive, a sage. There it is again. Someone that's wise. I can think of each one of you, Ardelia, Joan, Big Mo. I think of you all, and I think of you all as people who are wise. You believe in the things that you do, and you do those things. And then you help others. You share in the information that you've received, and you give it back to those in the community, maybe those in your family, maybe those in your church, those in your little social groups. You give it back. And so that makes it viably important. So sagacious it's really talking about somebody that has a little cleverness to them. It says that they're intelligent, experienced, and discerning. So these words, they're interchangeable in terms of you learn one word, you learn other words. Seriousness, come on now. How many of us are serious about what we do? Are we intentional when we meet other people? Do we make it our business to see young people who need some assistance and we not give it to them? Give it to them. Talk to them as often as you can. And perhaps in that talking, they will take one thing away. Maybe they'll take 2 or 3 or 4 things away just by having that conversation with you. So I say go into conversation. Be the person that can deliver information. We're not all going to be here. Eventually we will be gone. But the words that we leave behind are important. The words we leave behind are important to the people who need to hear some of the words that we have to say. Oh, I'm not talking about the bad words. I'm talking about good words. This is a good word. Sage is a good word. It speaks to the character of someone. Who are they? To listen to somebody that's wise, to listen to somebody that has a story. It's a good thing. When we move on our word of sage, the A I have is for acute, as in sensitive. When something is acute, that means, it needs some addressing. It's sensitive. It needs something to make it better, acute. It says, able to sense, sight, and able to, sense slight impressions or differences. Sometimes we have to be the one who says, well, you know what? This person needs X, this person needs Y. Oh, allow. That's good. That's good, Maurice. Yes. To allow something to happen. That's good for our A. Okay. And authentic. Come on now. Come on, Joan. That's one of the words that they speak to. Are we authentic with each other? Are we? We make a good attempt at it. Some of us do, of bringing our authentic selves every time we go out. Acknowledge. How do we acknowledge other people? When you're raising children, and even if they're other people's children, as teachers, as deacons, as deaconess, as a mentor in a school program, an after school program, sometimes even as a babysitter. I used to babysit, and I would always remember the things that I were taught to have to do a good job at babysitting. I pass it on to somebody else. The action. What are we doing? That's good. That is, all those words are good. Authentic, acknowledge, and action. All positive words, all meaning do something, do something. So acute says able to sense slight impressions or difference, to be sensitive, to be quick, to be sharp. That's acute. To be, delicate, because sometimes we have to walk around the edges of people to let them know that we don't want to do them any harm. We're there for the purpose of making sure that they're okay, so that the information we're giving them is actually good information that they can take with them wherever they go. That's the kind of information we want to give. And it says acute also means precise, accurate, fine. How many of you have ever spoken with sometimes and with people, and sometimes the words that they choose are interesting to you? I know I used to always leave conversations, or during conversations, especially if it was that I wasn't the main one that they're talking to, I take notes. In fact, I have a book here that I take notes in everything that I do. Everything. I have some notes to write up from yesterday. I went to a meeting. But anyway, acute also talks about accurate. Like, are we accurate when we're talking to people? Sometimes we can be, sometimes we're not. Subtle, clear, and there's the word again, discerning, meaning we pick and choose the words that we give to people and speak to people. That to me makes it right. That we're not just making up stuff, making up stories, lying for no reason. Tell them the stories that make sense, but also tell them the stories that have meaning, When we move on in our word of sage, my G is for genuine. How many mentors have you ever met that you knew to be genuine? Their kindness, their grace, their willingness to share, their willingness. How many of us have ever been in a situation and we've not, been prepared for what we're about to do, which is to speak to somebody that wasn't even in the plan, but here we are speaking of it. That's genuineness. So genuine, truly what something is said to be, authentic. When it's said to be authentic, we understand it and we're ready to do it. So genuine talks about, is it actual? Is it original? Because sometimes we can give information that we've read, but we have to also give credit to where it came from. Because I would tell you my mother in a minute, or my grandmother. I would tell you if I cited it from a book or magazine. Like this morning, this came from Collins Dictionary and Merriam-Webster's Dictionary. So that's what I do. I'm going to figure out where it came from. Gracious. How gracious are we? That's a good word. Because sometimes we don't even know to be graciously led, by somebody who's much older than us, much more mature, much more learned, much more experienced. And sometimes those are when you get the best fruit from the tree of knowledge of someone else's, how they stand in life. You're getting that good information. Try this. This is what I've done. This is how I look at this. So genuine talks about it being authentic, genuine, actual, original, true. Is it false or is it true? It says it also, is it sterling? Is it bona fide? It says is it variable? Meaning it's there. Is it variable? And it says, is it unadulterated? And is it legitimate? When we're talking to people, we need to look at things being legitimate, gracious, good, great. Those are great words. Is it good for us? Was it one where we were gracious in giving stuff? Sometimes when people are telling me things, I am not only excited about hearing them, I can't wait to go run and tell it, especially if it's something of great knowledge, where it might be telling me the story from a history that more people need to know about. That's good. Okay. The graciousness is that I accept it. The goodness is that I can carry it forward, especially if they let me know that it's okay to give it to somebody else. So then the last letter, see, this was a small word today, and I chose that for the purpose of my other work. My E is for experienced. When you meet someone that is considered to be a sage, a mentor, an experienced, learned person, you have to give it up. You just say, you know what? They're experienced. They know more than me. They've been around here longer than me, or sometimes I believe experience can still come from younger folks as well. The exchange is good because the exchange keeps the older folks in tune with what's happening in the younger world. Effective. Is something effective? And is it enjoyable? Yes. Is it enjoyable? Is it effective? Is there earnestness to it? So experience is my word. And I said having knowledge or skill in a particular field, especially a profession or job, gained over a period of time. And sometimes I think the great to talk to are the ones who have been involved in certain areas for years and years and years. The information that they bring is good, but they're telling you the process that they went through, and sometimes it may be painful, or they may show you the joy that they got from it, or they may show you the difference between the joy and the pain. The pain might have been learning how to do it. The joy is what the end results were, when things were made to be successful. Enriching, yes. Enlightening. How many of us can look at being effective, enlightening, enriching, wow, all of that, and enjoyable. Those are all good words. Solid, they stand for all of us who consider the fact that enlightening, and Joan said enlightening too, that we look at the life that we've been able to live, and if we don't pass information on, it will leave with us, So I want to be a sage, If you'd want to be a sage, write it in there. And I already know Joan is. I believe Ardelia is, and I know Mo is. So look, I answered it for you, but I want you to put a yes in there. Yes to being a sage, meaning you're going to pass the information on to somebody else. So my experience talks about over this time period, you're becoming more knowledgeable, more skillful, more of an expert, more someone who is accomplished. You're mastering particular things. You are proficient and efficient. It says you're also a professional. I believe that people are professionals. It doesn't matter if they have never went to school or not. What matters is that they've mastered the area that they know well and know better than most. Okay. It also says that they're capable, they're qualified, they are seasoned. He says more than seasoning. Okay. More than seasoning. Good. A sage. And then it says that experience also talks about maturity, having a particular veteran attitude towards things, like, girl, kid, I've been around a long time. I know something. To be able to tell people that is a good thing. And last, it says, this is the last word that I picked out today, talks about experience, talks about the wizardness of us. The fact that there's almost like as you have gone through things and you're starting to roll out information to others, it becomes almost magical. It works. Like sometimes I think of the things that I've been allowed to do in my life, and I am overjoyed because it is a wealth of information, and that's why I'm always telling people, use your brain daily. Find something today that you didn't know yesterday. Okay. And then find something tomorrow that you didn't know today. Keep going every single day. That's one of the reasons how this all began, is that I said, you know what, I want to make this a kind of like a little fun thing. I'm going to learn the words, but also learn to have conversation with new words. There's another word out there that I'm going to bring y'all, but I'm trying to make sure that everything is all right here, that I can settle into it, because it's a good word and they keep using it. I keep hearing it in the news feeds and the different conversations. And I said, I got to bring that word forward because not all of us understand what it means, but I'm going to bring it. I'm not going to tell you what it is today. But listen, I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful day. I want you to be a sage as much as you can to someone who needs to know. They may be 2 years younger than you. They may be 10, they may be 50. All I'm saying is leave your best conversations with people who need to know, even if they act like they don't need to know. Trust me, they do. They do. So I am so happy that I'm back, and at least I got in one of these. I have to go with my daughter on Monday to her appointment, so I'm not going to be able to do Monday, but I may do Tuesday, and I will let you all know that Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. But I'm going to try to get back on a routine as soon as I can. But I'm the Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of mentee, meaning you all help me, not me helping y'all, but together, collectively, we're doing something. Look, I love you guys. I appreciate you all. If you don't do anything else, hit the share button, let it be shared that I'm still a warrior, still out here trying to be a sage to those who need to know what a sage is, and to look forward into whatever life has for me. Till I leave here, I'm going to be working, okay? I love you guys. Appreciate you. Hit the share. See you on Wednesday. So, because today's Friday. Oh, thank you for my. Thank you. I tell you, I love. In fact, I can't turn it around. I'm going to send you my flowers. I bought sunflowers so that they would have sunflowers in my daughter's house. So I'm going to send you a picture of the sunflowers so you'll see how pretty they are. But, I love you guys and appreciate you so much. Thank you. Have a great, 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 great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.